Oh boy.
Yeah, that didn't end so well.
Wait a minute. I have a good one. I was forced to. Well, I wasn't forced, but I was being watched. Couldn't have been more than 6 or 7 years old, and Beyond the Door was on HBO. I don't know if anyone's ever seen Beyond the Door.
Yeah.
At 6 or 7 years old, you can't watch Beyond the Door.
No, that's a creepy ass film.
It is a creepy film, and I'm scarred by
the way you're both responding. So
yeah, can you say that again, Theresa? Because your mic was going out.
I was just saying that I haven't even heard of it, but I'm actually creeped out just by the way the two of you are responding to it. Like
it's kind of a bad Exorcist ripoff, but it's good enough to be creepy.
Yeah, it's atmospheric, okay. and the television commercials for that and the television commercial for Suspiria back in the day were absolute creepsville. Right. So, Jimmy, do you have a classic horror movie that you really like? You know, one of the Universal flicks, maybe, or one of the giant radioactive monster movies? Or
yeah, no, I think this really scariest one still strikes me as Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh yeah, the Kevin McCarthy Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
No, the original one, and they did the remake with with Donald Sutherland, and that one's great too. But that was the first horror movie that I remember, getting dragged to the theater by my parents because they were just like, "Oh, we're going to see a movie," and whether it was appropriate for my age group, it made no difference.
It's black and white.
Whatever was in the theater that they wanted to see.
Yeah. He won't be scared.
That one really got me. I mean, in the two-headed dog in the remake one actually just chilled me.
And we are recording once again. I apologize for the abrupt cut in the conversation. This is what happens when you're not making money on a podcast, so you don't pay for Zoom meetings. You were saying about favorite horror films, Jim. Sorry.
Oh, about favorite horror films? No, I was saying that that Invasion of the Body Snatchers to me still gets me right, in the cockles.
Yeah,
it scares me.
I think there's probably very few scenes more iconic than Kevin McCarthy running down the highway, yelling, and then jumps in the back of the truck and sees all the pods, the
pods just get me. I don't know what it is. It's maybe, I've been doing a lot of searching Eastern philosophies and stuff, and that third person, that outer body, that person who exists is not you, but is a clone of you, that just haunting.
Yeah. And I think that there's always been that terrible fear of being replaced, or the idea that everyone around you has been replaced. That phobia
by somebody who's twice as cool as I am.
Yeah, I love both versions of that film. I really do. I think that the one with Sutherland and Nimoy has got the best twist ending of a horror flick I can think of.
Agreed. It's better than the twist in Scorsese's Cape Fear, where Scorsese adds that twist where Nick Nolte knew that there was evidence and suppressed it.
Yeah,
because he knew that there was guilt. But the plot twist in the second remake, the remake version is classic.
Yeah, it's so, and that was I remember standing on the platform in Jamaica that first day I won out back in June, and I coughed on the platform, and people turned around and looked at me like Donald Sutherland ready to scream. Yeah, point and scream at me.
That's right. I know, God forbid you have to sneeze or cough these days. You are in trouble.
It's a strange world we're living in. I was going to, the classic horror movie that I was going to suggest, and I really love it, and it's one of the first ones I ever saw as a kid, and very, very young. And my dad let me watch it. It was on the 4:30 movie because it was so well filmed, and he loved it so much. Also, because it was just such a classic film, is the original Wolfman with Lon Chaney Jr. and Claude Rains.
Yeah,
it's still, that movie still really holds up. Chaney's performance is so, it's got a kind of melancholy, a sorrow that you just can't replicate. You know, you could tell that he was, definitely a guy that was haunted by his alcoholism, even that early in his career.
yeah.
But he's just so good and so likable as Larry Talbot, and Claude Rains is so good in his role. And still to this day, the practical makeup effects of that movie look great.
They look good enough compared to the depth of it. Now, obviously, American Werewolf in London, the change sequence, they made a huge deal of the change sequence. But the thing about the original one is that they didn't need that change sequence to still be effective just because of the storytelling.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Teresa. I apologize.
No, I just said I agree. I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, and one of the things that I actually like, that I recently rewatched the film, and he's got when he's walking, the first time you see him stalking someone, they show a shot of his legs, and he's got like the wolf legs, like standing up on the balls of his feet and walking like that, which you didn't really see in a werewolf again until The Howling and American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
Every time you saw a werewolf in most movies, it was just a guy in a freaking suit. They predate rather, I should say, it postdates The Howling and American Werewolf in London. But a great example of that is Silver Bullet. It's just, it's so obvious that it's, you look at his legs and it's so obvious it's a guy in a suit.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right. So our final segment of the evening, and once again, thank you both for joining us. This is really a really fun conversation. It's going to be a great episode. Do a little segment that I like to call "What's on Your Shelf," where each of us gives a suggestion of some kind of media that we are currently enjoying. Once again, whether it's a television show or a film or a book or an album or anything along those lines. So we'll go alphabetically. James, what would you suggest that the people check out?
Gosh, I'm so lame, but I would say that Killing Eve, I think, would be my favorite thing of late.
I don't think that's lame at all, man. I love that show.
I have to watch it. Listening to you guys talk about it, now I'm really interested in it.
Well, Theresa, you're a sucker for fashion, too.
I am. Yep.
Yeah, because Jesus.
Theresa, please.
Yeah, if you want to see a incredible show about a mentally unhinged master assassin who just wears the greatest European styles you've ever seen. It's so good. Jodie Comer is so good in it. And Sandra Oh is so good in it. And
totally.
the supporting cast. And one of the things I really like about that show is that anybody can get offed at any time. I mean, the only person that isn't going to get killed is Sandra Oh, and even there are times where it's like, is Eve going to do it?
Or is villain? And there is the truth. That's where Walking Dead has sort of lost it, because that Daryl's not going to get offed and Michonne is not going to get offed, but you really don't know. Pretty much any other character in that show, other than. I mean, you can say Sandra Oh's been close a couple of times where it's been,
Yeah, but
I could believe if she would go, I could believe it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I don't want to give anything away because I want definitely want Theresa to check it out, and I want the audience to check it out if they haven't seen it. But there's There's a scene where a certain character in the first season gets killed, and it happens so fast. I'm like, did they really just do that? And that was when I realized the show was not messing around, was not pulling any punches at all.
I'm really curious, and I'm definitely going to check it out.
Yeah, it's so worth watching. I think I know the first 3 seasons are available streaming everywhere. I think season 4 just dropped, and I forget what it's. Terrible. I should have this answer. Well, okay, I can see right here that season 3. Yeah, I believe season 3 is available on Prime for free. But yeah, it definitely worth seeing. All right, so Theresa, what piece of literature or film or music are you going to suggest to us this evening?
I hope this is okay with saying this because I know people have their mixed opinions on it, but I just finished the other day The Haunting of Bly Manor.
I'm sorry, Patrick.
What was that?
I sort of lost you for a minute there. I just wanted to commend Carolyn Martins for Killing Eve too. She's fantastic and she deserves a mention.
Oh, absolutely. She plays not Villanelle. Sorry, she plays Eve Pilastri, who was Sandra Oh's superior with British intelligence.
Right. Yeah. I just wanted to give her a mention because she's classic.
She's excellent. All right. Well, we'll cut that out. We'll have that cleaned up, and and
Sorry.
we'll take it back to Theresa. So Theresa, what piece of film or music or literature?
It's actually, I'm not reading anything right now because it's really hard for me with a toddler. But I did get to watch the whole. The Haunting of Bly Manor. And I have to say, as many people that complained about it, I adored it. And it's the only thing that I feel like I could speak about. But I feel like it's important to add that it's not really horror. It's definitely more of a love story. But that's like...
Well, that's what I've heard. I've heard it's got some really good scares, but I've also heard that it's a bit of a tearjerker.
I actually... I don't find it to be scary at all. And I am actually, as much as I love horror, I scare very easily actually.
As do I.
And I don't find it scary at all. I find it very creepy and unsettling, but the ending was fucking awesome. Honestly, I thought I don't want to say too much for anybody that didn't watch it, but the ending was awesome. What I love about the series, I liked the first season, which was the Haunting of Hill House. They're taken from actual stories and actual books, and I really appreciate that. But yeah, that I really, really enjoyed, so much so that when I ended it, I played it all over again because
I'm checking it out.
It was really good, and I mean, if you go into it expecting to be scared, you might be disappointed. But if you just go into it just to watch it, the ending blew me away, and I love that.
Yeah, I watched the first series, which was The Haunting of Hill House, which was very good, but also very, very different from the source material.
I should say it very, very different. It's definitely more inspired by the source, the story, so much so that you wouldn't even think that they were, taken from anything that was previously written, but I still appreciate the twist on things.
Looks good from what I looked up because I hadn't even heard of it, but looks good to me. So I'm ready. Bring it on.
Okay. So, I'm actually going to suggest a comic book, for everybody to check out. I'm suggesting, the great Grant Morrison, illustrated by Chris Burnham and Nathan Fairbairn, and lettered by Simon Rowland. Nathan Fairbairn, sorry, I apologize. But it's this incredible horror comic. It came out, it came out in 2016. right in the time, right at the beginning of a time that seemed like